Sanbonani, next part, I've arrived at it. How you doing? How you doing? Babatlo rena ke lo sebetsa ko call center ntse ke na ke press a button in my ear. Ke tswa call center ga ke khutlele. They are literally expecting me to settle in my career. Ke tlalifile ga kana ke na this much experience. Ke lo tsamaya nna ke lo like push up paper somewhere, or ke lo ba some receptionist or a call center agent all over again. Ke lo bang go to call center. Nna 38 qabang. Ke ntse ke di sebetsa le di 18-19-year-olds, di school leavers. Alright, try to start a career at Vuvu, nothing comes together, and they're like, at the back of your mom's house until you compromise gela or just die. And since all that which they expect me to settle in is entirely unacceptable, then I guess what they say now is die. So Lifulaka now has become this necessary evil amidst the baloi, who did not intend to do this to my life, but these are the ramifications of witchcraft, unintended consequences. And so since I am a big fat giant taboo, a controversial, yo, touch not God's anointed, do my prophets no harm. So this like random like individual that decided to lawyer the living daylights out of everything out of my life now today death care simona this is a hubolawa jwanong so that's what's good. And this person is on some, but nobody is gonna miss her. These people are like, but nobody is gonna miss her. Are you sure? Are you serious just yet? Oh yeah, Ashay. Nobody's gonna miss me really. Oh, I'll tell you who'll miss me. You. The very people who have put me in a position to die will miss me. You don't just get to torture a person you once loved for years on end with your random indiscretion and expect that you're not going to be like Lady Macbeth after killing the king. Like obsessively, compulsively washing the blood of the king off your hands despite it not being there because you're guilty until you plunge to your suicide from the guilt of killing a completely innocent person. But they don't quite see that. But never mind the whole Lady Macbeth potential phenomenon. How about we just peruse the fact that I am a Christian, I am a child of God, I am a daughter of the living risen King, co-heirs with Christ. And it is written that when you touch such individuals, much harm will befall you. Please do not neglect to recall what happened with Joseph. He was also just kind of left like a flapping fishy outside of the ocean. People waiting for him to just die, to code for the time to be called. And the dude lived so many more years after the coding date that he went on right ahead to become the Prime Minister of Egypt. God, two beautiful kids and a gorgeous wife, the first one of which he called Manasseh, for the Lord has helped him forget the pain of his father's household. It might appear as if though I don't have a prospect at a career or a life or a restoration coming. It might also appear as if though I'm 38, I'm never gonna get married and I'm never gonna get the kids that I want. It might appear like it's over, like it's over, but I'm only 38. That's just what people don't get. Sarah was 2 or 3 when she had her first baby. I am just 38. So until I get to the age of 93, it ain't over, it ain't over. Stamaronza papa action mejo gensari something. Leskabalebala hore Sarah was basically stolen from her husband by 2 kings who had no clue that she was the wife of Abraham. And these 2 kings, Pharaoh and Abimelech, were all up in Sarah's grill, with the woman being already, with Abimelech in particular, I believe she was in her 60s. I'm only 38. When Pharaoh or Abimelech, one of the two, wreaked havoc in Sarah's life during that time when her cowardly husband pulled the stunt he pulled, she was in her 60s. That is the glory of a godly woman, and that is the timeline of a godly woman. The Lord will not strive with man for more than 120 years now. And by the time the Lord made that decree, Sarah and Abraham were already around. So Sarah and Abraham were not the equivalent or the tantamount of Methuselah. They were not the tantamount of Enoch, those people who lived hundreds of years. No. Sarah and Abraham lived in a time where the Lord had already decreed, I will not strive with man for any more. Now their years will be 120 years. So their generation, their years, their aging is literally almost blueprint mapped against ours. Sarah and Abraham are like us. Were like us in light of how they aged. So you must understand that if Sarah could be wanted by a king, 2 of them in her 60s, then God has power to preserve and give longevity and great glory and beauty to his daughters if he sees fit to do that. If at all, people are going to be trying to take their youth so they can marry old, so they can lose their wombs, so they won't have children of their own, so they can lose their fertility. God will then make out of Karabo a marvel, just like Sarah. A woman giving birth very late, and a woman who is still so fly at the age of 60 that 2 kings steal her from her husband. I'm 38, and I am yet to get anything I asked for in prayer in light of husband, marriage, in light of children. And people have already called me. They've already called my time of death. When I look like this, when I sound like this, when I speak like this, when I have all this still like to give, I have been called when the Lord has yet to give me what he promised in prayer. So that cousin of mine that spoke literally way too soon, she did it when we were 20, and she did it again years down the line because she thought that I couldn't dodge the bullet of sorcery. Except the kids that I asked God for, and the husband, and the marriage, and the career, and the whatnot that she stole, she has no idea that it all had to go that I might receive exceedingly and abundantly above anything I could have ever asked for. Remember, I had said that I asked the Lord after she showed that she was very competitive for a bigger, better husband, children, career than she ever could get. Well, right now I've got nothing. But understand that when I get my life back, I will have the most enviable, covetable husband and children in comparison to her and everybody else that tried to steal all that from me. That even though I stopped being competitive when I came to Christ, I nonetheless will still come out tops and the best. I will get the most loving, most cherishing, most handsome, most put together husband out of all of them. And I will have the cutest kids that will indeed, just like Job's daughters, be the most beautiful in the land. That's what I stand to gain. That is a favor that I have. So here it is that this buffoon went and touched me with witchcraft, but this time around she was touching a Christian. And so this time around the humiliation is going to be far worse than that which she endured when we were only 20 years old. I came here to tell you that story because South Africa cut power and I had to get fresh air outside. In an environment where I am at, there is no ventilation, but I prospered to give my witness just so I could escape the temptation of wanting to kill myself, because I was ideating suicide before I came to do this video. But the Lord gave me a way out, for with every temptation he will always give us a way out, and he will never tempt us beyond that which we can endure. I've been languishing, but this is how I survive every day, and I am pushing because I understand that God provides perfectly, and I am yet to meet with my deliverance, and that's the reason why everybody's coming at me especially harder now. I'm close to my deliverance and they're close to their comeuppance. Touch not God's anointed. Do his prophets no harm. It's gonna hurt you something bad if you try. Signing out in Christ's name, Krenke. Peace.